I'm sending Reiki and love your way through the screen, through the virtual realm, through the ethers. Thank you so much for tuning in. I've been thinking a lot about non-duality, about how I can be, you can be, we all are, both things at once, essentially, or we're embodying the gray area in between two ends of every spectrum. That I can be a powerful, effective energy worker and witch, and also struggle with my own insecurities and stuck energy and mental, emotional imbalances. And that I don't always have to show up acting like I don't struggle with those things. And I'm saying this because I know that there's other people out there that also can relate to this, and maybe you're one of them. We're actually, as a collective, humanity is shifting out of this paradigm of duality that we've been existing in for a really long time, where we're taught and hold deep-seated beliefs that things are one way or the other. They're good or bad, right or wrong, healthy or sick. That's not actually how nature and reality work. We're constantly ebbing and flowing in the space between those two ends of the spectrum. And the more we learn how to embrace that truth, the easier life is going to feel, because it's going to give us permission to not be one way all the time, to not have to embody one specific identity and always present that way. I really think that this is a major theme of the energetic shift of the cosmos, our Earth, moving into the age of Aquarius. The frequencies that the Earth is embodying now, the frequencies that are then subsequently being matched in our bodies, in each of our bodies, can no longer sustain that belief system and everything that we do to support it. Things are becoming more fluid. Understanding is expanding. We're beginning to recognize our divinity in the chaos. Recognizing that embodying the divine, invoking the divine, living as a divine being, believing in your divinity, that doesn't mean that you become perfect. At least while you're in this physical vessel, living on this physical earth in this particular projection of reality, we're not meant to be a perfect light of God in every single moment, because we are non-dual entities, which means we embody the darkness. We embody the demons. We embody the disgusting and the ugly. We embody the things that we hate. All of those things are part of us, and when we deny those things, it creates problems. creates disease, disorder, dysfunction, violence in a multitude of ways. And we see that manifested everywhere we turn. But the reason why it's so amplified at this time is because it's moving out. It's changing. You know, the chaos becomes loud, so loud, blinding. The pain becomes unbearable right before things become softer, right before things change, right before things become bearable again. It's the endless cycle. It's the snake eating its tail. It's the infinity symbol. It's the circle. It's the spiral. The thing that I actually want to end with doesn't have a clear linear connection to non-duality, and it's about our hearts. Our hearts are a brain. They contain the same cellular structures that we have in our brain that don't appear anywhere else except for in our heart. We also know that our whole body generates an electromagnetic field, and the heart also generates its own electromagnetic field. The brain doesn't do that. Our hearts are so powerful. And this morning I was reading Damien Eccles, and he mentioned in there that, you know, just reiterating the magical concept of pairing thought energy with feeling in order to project this focal point of energy that is related to something that you want to see in the physical world. And the reason why that works is because the heart is another brain. It's projecting the same type of intention, but instead of it being in the container of language, it's in the container of emotion. Something I've been really tripping about, honestly, for the last year, ever since the very beginning, when the first rule that we're being mind controlled, whether or not it's for our safety, I'm not saying that, but that is what was happening, is that we're being brainwashed and mind controlled into staying 6 feet away from each other. The heart generates its own electromagnetic field, and that electromagnetic field is measured to extend about 6 feet out from our human bodies. So I was instantly like, okay, there's no way that's a coincidence. There's absolutely no way, because I don't really believe in coincidences anyways. It's all synchronicity. And on one hand, for a little while, it's kind of great. This is why people go away on retreats or go camping in the middle of nowhere to cleanse and clear our energy field, because we're always interacting. But it was directly infused with fear and worry and anxiety and judgment. And it's essential for us to be tuning into this energy field that our hearts generate. Because when it's not linked up with our awareness, it's running on autopilot. It's doing whatever the fuck. And it's being affected more by outside influences when it's just running on autopilot and our awareness isn't there. When we put our awareness on our electromagnetic field, we strengthen it because we're adding energy to it, and we're adding our own generative energy. It's the same. So I encourage you to look up, if you don't already know, about the toroidal field, the electromagnetic field. Just look up a picture of it. It's always illustrated as a donut-shaped grid, and imagine it you can do this anytime, sitting in meditation, walking around. Just shift your awareness down into your heart, and then imagine that generative field of electromagnetic energy pulsing out from the center of your body in all directions. And then you imagine how it's actually pulsing up to 6 feet away from your body in all directions. See if you can notice how far out it's going. Because, when we're feeling very protected, when we're feeling low energy, when we're feeling nervous or scared, whatever, the field comes closer to our body. When we're feeling really open and really happy and just like ready to connect with other people, it stretches out bigger. So you can practice noticing how far out yours is going and practice controlling it. So then you can expand it outward. And when I say it's essential that we connect to this energy field, for one, it is because it's being sorely neglected anymore now. And that is absolutely affecting our moods, our relationships, our ability to receive and give love. And that is a death sentence for humanity, literally. So not only for that reason, but also because when we're in control of our heart field and we can start to feel it expanding outward, we can push it further than 6 feet. We can send it out to people that we love. We can send it out to strangers, even strangers who, for instance, like aren't wearing their mask correctly or something that bothers you, especially to them. And you can learn how to be protected, to feel protected and not vulnerable when you're doing that, because your awareness is strengthening the energy field so well that it's going to transmute energies that aren't yours, that don't resonate with you. It's going to just transmute those energies. It becomes like, I imagine it like a bug zapper, because I imagine that grid, because that grid that's depicted in illustrations of the electromagnetic field is real. It's a real element of our energy bodies, of all living beings. There is actually an energetic grid that's existing outside of our physical senses. And I always imagine it glowing bright blue and acting like a bug zapper. So any energies that try to come through that are dissonant to me, I just program it that way by telling it that that's what it's doing. They come through and they're just instantly transmuted. They do not come into my physical body and affect me. This is a practice that you'll go back to over and over again. You can't program this in to yourself and then run on autopilot and expect it to stay this way. It's something that you have to keep your awareness on all the time without getting frustrated about it. Just recognize that it's a new practice for you. So for the card readings today, I want to let the cards be a message from your heart to you. What does your heart want to be experiencing or communicating to you at this time, so that you can tune more into your heart center and allow that fine tuning to ripple out into the world around you. May you be infused with Reiki and magic. May your hearts generate incredible force of love that ripples out into your world and permeates every cell, every space